Because biological evolution occurs over millions of years, we cannot witness it in real time. Instead, we reconstruct the history of life using the physical traces preserved in the earth and the specific structures inherited by living organisms. We are opening 3 specific evidence files: paleontological records, comparative anatomy, and evolutionary links. Success on a life science board exam requires a precise categorization of these findings. You must identify exactly how these structures formed and what specific type of evolution they demonstrate. Our first category is paleontology. This is the study of fossils, the preserved remains or physical impressions of organisms that existed thousands or millions of years ago. When an organism dies, it can be buried by sand and lime at the bottom of ancient oceans. Over time, these sediments harden into rock, trapping and preserving the hard parts of the organism. These rock layers act as a timeline. The deeper the strata, the older the fossil. Scientists also use radiometric dating with isotopes like carbon-14 and potassium-40 to determine a fossil's age with high precision. The fossil record shows that life has grown increasingly complex over geological time, moving from simple organisms in older layers to advanced life forms found in newer rock. Our second file is comparative anatomy. Here we look for homologous organs. These structures share a common evolutionary origin, even if they serve completely different functions today. This bone pattern in mammalian forelimbs proves the concept. Whether it's a whale's flipper or a human's hand, they all contain a humerus, radius, and ulna. This indicates they branched out from a single common ancestor to adapt to different environments, a process called divergent evolution. Analogous organs are the opposite. Look at the wings of an insect compared to a bird. They both enable flight, but their internal structures are entirely different. These unrelated species independently developed similar tools to survive in similar environments, which we call convergent evolution. Be careful with plant examples on your exam. The thorns of a bougainvillea and the tendrils of a cucurbita are homologous because they both originate from axillary buds. However, sweet potatoes and regular potatoes are analogous. One is a root and the other is a stem, even though they both store food. Comparative anatomy proves that organisms either diversify from a shared ancestor through homology or converge on similar solutions through analogy. Our final evidence type involves transitional forms. These are organisms that exhibit the characteristics of 2 different major taxonomic groups. When a transitional organism is still alive today, we call it a connecting link. For example, Peripatus is an active bridge between annelid worms and arthropods. Observe this fossil. It has the feathers and beak of a bird, but look at the tail and teeth. Those are reptilian traits. By observing these features, we can see how one class of animals transitioned into another. This is Archaeopteryx. Because it is extinct, we categorize it as a missing link. It proves that modern birds evolved from reptilian ancestors. These bridge organisms, whether living or fossilized, are direct evidence that distinct classes of life share a developmental history. Fossils, anatomical structures, and transitional links are 3 independent lines of evidence that all point towards the shared ancestry of life on Earth. Use this matrix for your final review. Always pair homologous organs with divergent evolution and common ancestry. Pair analogous organs with convergent evolution and similar environmental pressures. Finally, distinguish your links. Connecting means living, like Parapatus. Missing means extinct and fossilized, like Archaeopteryx. Master these specific pairings. Understanding these definitions and the evolutionary processes they represent will allow you to solve any evidence-based question on your life science exam.